Find the measure of angle AFB and explain your reasoning. Use the word bank to fill in the blanks of the step-by-step reasoning. So we all know how to find the measure of angle AFB, but yesterday we talked about backing up the steps that we do, having a reason for each and every time that we solve something, or we make a conjecture, or we set something equal. Okay? So, in order to solve for angle AFB, first we would need to know that angle AFC and angle CFD are a blank blank. So AFC and CFD, what are they? I gave you 2 blanks, so it's pretty easy, huh? Good, they're a linear pair. So that would be step 1 of our reasoning. That might not have been what you reasoned first, but we're filling the blanks here. So, all right, next one. So now it says, by the linear pair theorem. So notice, we're taking what we just concluded, that they're a linear pair. We're using that to start our next sentence. Okay, so by the linear pair theorem, angle AFC and angle CFD are, good. The linear pair theorem says, if 2 angles form a linear pair, then they are supplementary. Hypothesis, conclusion. Next step in our logical thinking. By definition of supplementary, the measure of AFC plus the measure of CFD equals 180. So we're taking it further. What does supplementary really mean? It means the measure of the angles add up to 180. By substitution and subtraction, the measure of AFC is 90. Because we already know that CFD was 90 because that was 90 in the picture. So it's saying 180 minus 90, you're subtracting. You're substituting 90 in, and then you're subtracting. That was 4 sentences just to say that that angle was 90, AFC. Crazy, huh? Okay. Since B is in the interior of AFC, that's a postulate. If B is in the interior of AFC, the angle addition postulate states that the measure of AFB plus the measure of BFC equals the measure of AFC. Remember, that's just part plus part equals whole. So now we're just saying, I'm allowed to add angle 1 and angle 2 to get the whole angle, which we already said was 90. This is nitpicky, isn't it? Every step accounted for. By substitution and subtraction, the measure of angle AFB is 90 minus 50. We substituted in 50, and we moved it over. We subtracted from 90. So the final answer, all that work just to say that the solution is the measure of AFB is 40 degrees. And that's how you prove or back up your steps. Woo! Good thing it's just fill in the blank and we're not making you do that by yourself, right? Not until a few units later. Okay, homework answers. Check them. 1 through 8. We're going to go quickly through these, so check so I can go to the next screen. There we go. That'll at least get you 1 through 12 all on one screen. Here's, you can see 9 through 12 again, and then 13 through 18. Here's slow checker. So remember, you were using that notes page, that big table that had all the theorems, definitions, and postulates. You were using that, especially on this page. You were using that here, and you were making sure that you were matching up the hypothesis to the conclusion to the name of the theorem or the name of the definition. They should have matched each time. Oh, you didn't see the back. That's okay. You can do it tonight. You found x, yeah. Okay, so ABD is 5x plus 4, DBC is 66, and ABC is 13x plus 6. So we know that this is a classic part plus part equals whole problem. 5 5x plus 4 plus 66 equals 13x plus 6. What did x end up being, guys? X equals 8, and then there'll be a spot on your test to put x, but then there will be a spot, wow, that was gibberish. There will be a spot where you will need to plug it back in. So ABD is this angle right here, so we would need to plug in 5 times 8 plus 4, and that's why the answer to angle ABD was 44. So the answer to this one was 17. We know that if we want A to be, this means perpendicular. If we want A to be perpendicular to B, then we would add these to equal 90. And X would end up being 17 on that one. Okay, let's go over it. So BFC is 7x minus 40. And CFE is 2x plus 85. We know that those are a linear pair. Those add up to equal 180. So we can add them together. Let's go ahead and add them. 7 plus 2 is 9x. 85 minus 40 is 45. Equals 180. So we solve for x, subtract 45 and divide by 9. X is 15, but we need to find the measure of EFD. So EFD is this angle right here. So what we can do is we can find the measure of CFE, this angle, and then we can subtract 90 from it. So I'm going to take my 15, I'm going to plug it in here. 2 times 15 plus 85. And we get 115. That angle is 115 degrees. Well, if I have 115 degrees and I've already used up 90 of it, then the missing angle is 25 degrees. So the measure of angle EFD was 25 degrees. It should not be a decimal. Find x so that BD, well, let's figure out which one that is. Okay. Okay, so that BD, this ray, bisects ABE. So we want the green ray to bisect the red angle. We want the, good, we want the red angle to be cut in half. Try again, try again, try again. There, got it. So, if we want that green ray to be an angle bisector, what should be true about angle 1 and angle 2? They should be the same. They should be equal. Now, you can't set 3x minus 13 equal to 3x minus 13, but if they're equal, they should both be 3x minus 13. If they're equal, what's our equation here? Well, or part plus part plus part equals whole. All three of these make a straight line, 180. Yeah. So let's add all three of them up. Let's do it together. What's 3x plus 3x plus 2x? 8x. Negative 13 plus negative 13 plus 6. Okay, so that's negative 26 plus 6. Negative 20. And what does that equal again? 180. So you might have just done some, that was a lot of things to combine and to move around. You might have just had some algebra glitches. 8x equals, what's 180 plus 20? 200. X equals 25. 200 divided by 8. The answer is 25. Could you do that again tomorrow? Okay, so we are given EFD, and that's simple. They just called it X. That's nice to have a nice simple variable there. And AFB, 3x minus 40. And so we know that these are vertical angles. You have to know your vocab. You have to know what these angles look like. By the vertical angle theorem, we know that they are congruent to each other. They are the same measure. When angles are congruent, when they're the same, when they're identical twins, we set them equal. We solve for x. Let's see, negative 2x equals negative 40. X equals negative 40 divided by negative 2. The negatives cancel. And x is 20. Now, it's asking for BFC. So it's asking for this angle right here. How is angle 1, and I'll call it angle 3, how are those related? What's the vocab word for 1 and 3? They are adjacent, but they're complementary as well. Because if this is a right angle, CFD, then this is a right angle. Because they're a linear pair, and 180 minus 90 is 90. So, if I can take my 20, and I can plug it in here, all I have to do is subtract from 90, and I'll know my answer. Very good. So 3 times 20 minus 40. 20. So this is a 20-degree angle. 90 minus 20 is 70. The answer to the problem, BFC, 70 degrees. 70. Okay. Ooh, you get to draw your own picture this time. Angle ABC and angle CBD form a linear pair, period. So do that first. If BE bisects angle ABC and BF bisects CBD, find the measure of EBF. Woo-hoo. Okay, so first we have two angles that form a linear pair, right? Doesn't matter where you draw that ray or which direction it's going. A, B, C, and C, B, D. So you had something like that. Then you had an angle bisector. BE bisects ABC. So I'm going to the best of my ability, draw an angle bisector. It's called BE. And I'm going to put arcs on my picture to show that that angle has been evenly split in half. BF bisects CBD. So I have a new angle bisector cutting a whole new angle in half. So I'm going to put a double arc so that I don't think that all four of those equal, because then that would be too easy. I would just take 180 divided by 4. Okay, it is asking for the measure of EBF. And you're like, oh my goodness, Miss Stan, there are no numbers on this picture. How in the world am I going to find the measure of that purple angle? Did you get it? Good. Frustrated. You don't know what to do. Pick a number. Pick just one number. Call the angle that number, and then find all the missing angles. And find out what your purple angle equals. Everyone pick a different number, and we'll find out how it's all going to work out the same. Everyone pick a number, anywhere from 0 to 90. And put it right here. Pick a number. Well, probably 0 to like 40 or something. You don't want it to be too big, or they won't all fit. Oh, probably don't want to do decimals. Ken, what's your number? What do you pick? 30, okay. Ken picks 30. So for Ken, it's going to be 30. It's going to be 30. How am I going to find out those, Ken? How am I going to find out these two? If you've already done those two are 30. 180 minus 60. Bisected, cut in half, yeah. So 180 minus 60 is 120. And then divide it by 2. So in Ken's picture, what's the measure of the purple angle? 90. What about in your picture? 90. Is yours 92 no matter which angle you pick to start with? So the answer to this problem is 90. I could show you with algebra as well. Do you want to see it with algebra? Just in case, just in case. My picture's going to get messier. Sorry, I'm going to have to erase some things. Okay. With algebra, let's call this x. Now what would this angle be? X. Okay. Now what's left over? Well, no. What would this be? It'd be 180 minus 2x. Thank you, Matthew, because we've already used up 2x, right? Then what do? We got bisected. What do we do with that? Divide it by 2. Because this angle is 180 minus 2x, but it got bisected.
Oh, okay.
It got bisected. So what is 180 minus 2? Okay, let's divide it by 2. 180 divided by 2 is 90. And 2 divided by 2. So this is the complement. Look, this angle is 90 minus x. This angle is 90 minus x. These two angles are complementary. It just works that way. It's kind of cool. So they have to add up to 90. If I were to add these together, the x's would cancel. And what would you get? 90. Cool problem. Or not cool, depending on how you look at it. Okay, try this one. The difference in the measures of two complementary angles is 39. Find the measure of the two angles. This one is going to be a decimal. When you don't know where to start, always call one of them x. I hope that when you see a problem like this, I hope the first thing you do is draw complementary angles. I hope you draw a right angle with some sort of with some sort of ray in there. Good, yes. Okay, if I call one of them x, what do I call the other one? Do I call it 39? No, the difference. Good. Difference means subtract. So if I call one of them x, I'm going to call the other one x minus 39. Now what do? Add them to equal 90. Good. 2x minus 39 equals 90. What makes us have a decimal here? Who's responsible for this? This is odd. That's why we have a decimal. The 39 is odd. Anyways, add 39 to both sides. Divide by 2. There's two answers, guys. The answers are 25.5 and 64.5. Those are the two angles that you come up with. Let's try another one just like it. The measure of the supplement of an angle is 30 more than twice the measure of the angle. Find the measures of the angles. We only have two problems left. Okay, what do I call one of my angles? Call one of the angles x. What do I call the other angle? 30 more than twice the angle. 30 more than twice the angle. Now we add them up. 2x plus x, 3x plus 30 equals 180 minus 30. 3x equals 150. Divide by 3. X is 50 and the other angle is 130. The answers were 50 and 130. So Matthew, you had that first angle, you just had to subtract from 180. Last problem, guys. And this was on your partner quiz. Last problem. It will also have a decimal, have two decimals. The measure of an obtuse angle is 5x plus 6. Give the range of possible values of x.
Oh.
It's going to be ugly decimals, not pretty. You're dividing things by 5 that aren't divisible by 5. Y'all did this in the partner quiz. Okay. What's our range if it's obtuse? Larger than 90 and less than 180. So you start there, and here you put 5x plus 6. And okay, I can't get from here, but we'll check them. Okay, we'll check them. Check your own. Let's do it together. What do you do first? Subtract 6. What's cool is you can do it to the left and the right at the same time. That's cool. All right, so we have what? 84 is less than 5x, which is less than. This is really a two-step problem. What do you do next? Divide by 5. 2 steps. Subtract 6 and divide by 5. So x is greater than 16.8, and it's less than 34.8.
That's what I got when you said round.
Oh, no.
You said don't round.
Right. Okay, so we're going to work on the review sheet.